Senor Ivan Martinez, we are here on the tap. What's tapping right now, and we're adding a little bit of mystery. This is an audio-only episode. No makeup, but it's okay. And then you've brought in some protein, some soju, some NOS, high-performance energy drink. And my goodness, look at you go.
GT grape.
GT grape.
Tastes like cough syrup.
I do like the grape Powerade, the light purple. It's a great artificial flavored grape is pretty delicious.
Number one.
Oh, absolutely. But you have your mustache. It's rock and roll, and a haircut. You're going to a wedding. You said this
Saturday.
This Saturday. Key and S getting married.
One of my wife's coworkers.
Wife's coworkers. Is she a good person? Is the guy good? Or do you have no idea who these people are?
I've met him once.
And how was that meeting?
All right.
Did they make a good enough first impression? Did they have a good handshake?
Yeah.
Oh, he's shaking his head. No, I'm just kidding. Well, because they're gonna be listening to this. Who isn't gonna be listening to this episode of the podcast? Your second time on the tap, sir. The first time we were over in Sacramento at your original place. Now you live here in Wintersland, in Suffolk, Victoria, and some other person.
And Lola.
Lola Bear, who's just the cutest little bulldog.
She's been sleeping all day.
All day. What does she dream about, this Lola Bear?
Probably all the food that she can't have.
All the food she can't have. What food can't she have?
Anything like chicken, because she'll break out. Cheese, because she'll get the runs. I mean, the list goes on.
Well, I love all those things. You know, it's worth the runs. Even if I get lactose intolerant, I will welcome the runs. And I will spend my time in the toilet earning that cheese.
Those dogs are anomalies. I honestly don't understand how they're existing.
We have taken the role of God upon ourselves as human beings and have bred these poor animals to the point where they cannot reproduce themselves just because they look cute and are adorable and are fantastic. But what painful existence they live. But she seems like a very happy pup. She's getting around. She's waddling around. She's chilling. Always munching on something. But we're here today not to have some idle chit chat. I mean, we are, but you fancy yourself a 90's cartoon and movie buff. So I mean, just getting into the 90's cartoons, where I even have my notes here, I would say is the golden age of cartoons. That's not to throw shade on the cartoons of years past, like your Tom and Jerry's, your Bugs Bunny. There's some heavy hitters, some immortals, but by and large, in my opinion, 90's is the GOAT era of cartoon entertainment. Would you agree?
I feel like there's always been politics in cartoons, especially way back in the day, right?
Politics in cartoons.
Wars and everything going on. They would do certain cartoons to depict America in a certain light, and maybe, our opposing enemies in different light.
The Bugs Bunny one where he's like, here you go, slant eyes, like, and all that. Like, it is unbelievably racist back then.
And I think that's always been around.
Mm-hmm.
The 90's, I guess I didn't really see too much of it because I was a kid, so I saw it, but I just didn't see it. I didn't understand. But now, being in my 30s, some of the cartoons I'll check out when a family member's watching TV or something. It's like, well, this is oddly specific and trying to convey a bigger message than what it is.
Is it like modern cartoons, or like when we're watching the old, like, say, Pepe Le Pews and whatnot?
I think more modern. The Pepe Le Pew thing, that was a very messy situation.
He's he's a very loving and passionate person. We got SpongeBob in the background. His hat just flew on Squidward's big fat nose. But anyways, that's actually one of the questions that I had of just like 90's cartoons were funny because they're made out of the sake of being funny and ridiculous, and just there was no holds barred on what they could do or what they couldn't do. And politics seemed like they were out of it. It was just funny. I mean, some stuff, is it edgy or too intense by today's standards? I'd say yeah, but because people are just always adding the extra narrative to it. When we're little, we're watching this stuff, it's funny. Like, we're not thinking politics. We're not thinking what's the message behind what's going on here. Like, why can't it just be entertaining? And I feel like the 90's just nailed it, and nowadays cartoons you're on thin ice.
Yeah,
you have to be so PC.
One of my favorite cartoons, Ed, and Eddie, I didn't think the Kanker sisters were technically trying to take advantage of the Eds. I thought it was more of they're girls and they're like us ill cooties, when it was more like, yo, drop them pants, boy.
They were absolutely trying to rape the Eds.
It sure
All
seemed
the
that way,
Eds.
right?
The one with the blue hair I thought was the cutest Kanker sister.
By far.
Like the other Kanker sisters. I mean, yeah, like if there was a sloppy foursome with just me and the Kanker sisters in their trailer. Eating those sandwiches. Remember the sandwiches that they made the Eds? Like they're just sloppy joes and they're just eating the shit out of it with their dad's bathrobes on.
there was stuff like what was it? They found some like metal gears in there and everything.
Oh, God. Oh, like Ed's just coughs out the gear. This podcast gonna be a little more freeform of just really just stream of consciousness when it comes to cartoon. Like when anything that you like just pops to mind, just shout it out. Like that episode of just Ed's pulling gear, like literal metal gears out of the food. Now that I'm thinking about it, those three sisters, probably same mom, three different dads.
Oh, hands down.
Well, like, what the hell's going on with the Kanker sisters? And I love the episode that, like, they're doing a little booze cruise. It's a float, and the Kanker sisters, like, are pirates. They go, but Ed flips his ear and puts his lips in the fucking water and starts
just motorboats it.
That guy, Ed. You want somebody, mother?
That was Eddie.
The sound effects. Oh, Eddie's great. A comedian. He has that volcano on his head.
Yeah.
What was it about Ed, and Eddie that just tickled you?
It was the first show I ever saw on the first day we ever got cable.
Really?
So that's why it literally, I remember the dude going there, setting everything up.
Damn.
I'm like sitting in the background, then boom, my mother has to go do some stuff. I think my brother maybe had practice of some sort of sport, probably soccer.
Of course.
Or, he was busy. He was doing something else. So I had my turn with the TV and Cartoon Network, Ed, and Eddie, and I was like, I'm in love. This is my show.
Give me your story of so you didn't have cable growing up. No. Like what age and like what got you into cartoons?
Oh, no, at that point,
what just ensnared you?
At that point, I had to have been probably
20, 22.
No. No, I had cable early on. We just didn't have enough money to get all the channels and everything back in the day, but we got what I needed.
Absolutely.
So I was real happy with.
No, it's that one. Like cable was always like waiting for shows to come on, going to channel 3 and seeing what shows are like on the way. You have to wait for it to scroll down. I kind of
missed that, right? What was it? Me and my wife just started watching Gundam Wing.
Yeah,
the one with
definitely gonna
G-Team.
Get into the anime aspect.
Oh yeah,
90s
anime. We're binge watching it. We're way into it already, right? In a couple days. Back in the day, it's like for Gundam it'd be Toonami, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely have a Toonami. Man, you're saying all the right things, Martinez.
And you'd watch one episode and then you gotta wait.
You had to wait an entire
week.
I mean,
or
sometimes Dragon Ball Z every day. I think Dragon Ball Z maybe it was once a week. Because it's like, damn, find out the next
Tune
episode.
In next time.
Dragon Ball Z.
And then all it'd be is Goku still powering
They're powering up for about 20 episodes. I mean, Toonami, let's just get right into it. That was my introduction into anime, and it was always Gundam Wing before. There's Sailor Moon, Gundam Wing, and then Dragon Ball Z was always on at 9 o'clock because my bedtime was at 9:30. And so Dragon Ball Z, and I rewatched it on Crunchyroll. Shout out to Terry Rudiganir. He gave me his Crunchyroll account. And I watched it, but it wasn't the American, like it was dubbed, but the music wasn't the same. It wasn't that synthy, hard rock, awesome, which I think completely and utterly made that show. Because I'm listening to it with the Japanese, the horns, and Goku turned Super Saiyan for the first time, and I'm supposed to believe that that's going to get me juiced. No. Like that epicness, the music, the hard rock, and just even Vegeta's power. I would love to be able to get the copyrights for that and put it on the tab. But the music of Dragon Ball Z in the 90s was just unreal. I've never seen anything like it. Like Dragon Ball Z is probably, if not like the staple of animes in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, you know what's interesting? The people that got me into Dragon Ball Z was actually my uncles that were fresh from Mexico.
Really?
They're the ones.
What?
Yeah.
So the cartoon scene in Mexico, was that
it's big too.
As big as the United States, would you say?
I mean, where they can get TVs.
Yeah,
at least back in the day.
Were there any like cartoons in Mexico that we don't know about that were just balling down there?
Justin would be the guy to ask.
Of course.
I've never been to Mexico.
Some cartel animation, just blood and gore. Toonami was so different. And I remember it wasn't a traditional cartoon. Like my dad would come in sometimes, and he's just like, "The fuck is this stuff? Like, what do you?" So
I can picture.
So
Benny saying that.
okay. Here's a story. Ready for story time? If you have story time, let me know. We got story time. So it's Sunday biscuits, and I get done. I've stuffed my fat face, and I go into the living room, and I turn on SpongeBob, which we have on as ambient little background noise here. And it's the training episode, where it's just the training video. Oh, you just started working at the Krusty Krab. Like, here, don't be a Squidward. And exactly. So it gets to that point. Ben Gertz walks in. I'm in high school at this point, I think, but I still love Sponge because it's just so silly. He sits down, and it gets to that point. It's just he makes it about 3/4 through before he just goes, Jesus Christ, gets up and leaves the room. He just couldn't fucking handle it. That poor bastard.
He had a similar expression when you and I were watching Half Baked at your house back when we were young. He was like, it was when Dave Chappelle finally let go of Mary Jane, but it was Mary Jane talking to him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He's like, real quick. That's at the end.
And then your dad's like, what the? He just went off and like, this is what you like to watch? But I'm just sitting there like, what's going on? I do. I was just sitting there like, okay, but he's talking to you, so I'm like, I'm just going to pretend I don't exist.
No hablo inglés, Mr. Gertz.
I've never seen this show in my life, sir.
I don't know, but it's just, I don't know, it's super funny. That movie came out in 1998. 98. Like, the 90s is in terms of, like, I was thinking about it as I'm writing down my notes here, things to talk about. Cartoons, the golden age. Movies, can't say it's the golden age of movies, but some of the most iconic movies ever made out of the 90s. And the music, hip hop and R&B, the rap, like where gangster rap actually had gangsters killing each other.
The 90s movie era was what made me like what I like nowadays.
So give me like your inspiration, like growing up, you first saw Ed, Edd n Eddy, which had like a huge impact. Honest, I love, you can get really artistic with it. The art before like the episode starts and it's like, this is the name of the episode. It was super weird and like abstract and just
wacky. Cowardly
Dog-like
as well.
Yes, is just so like, it was just high. Like, I don't know if it caused anybody anxiety, but like that art was wild. That's why I loved the still art in SpongeBob when there's like the joke leads to it. And it's just, I have no soul, says Squidward. It's just a close up, just a painted picture of just whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. But yeah, give me your, like, what movies inspired you? What turned you into this movie weakling, into this movie buff?
We'll start with, like, since we're talking about cartoons, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Static Shock.
Static Shock?
Yeah.
What was that? One that I missed that slipped through?
You don't know? Well, that was on WB.
Okay, WB is not where my expertise lies.
Okay.
Because that's Pinky the Brain and Recess.
So,
I believe
Static Shock, he's a DC character, young black kid. With
never mind.
His best friend was named Virgil, and he becomes like the superhero. But Virgil does. But actually, sorry, my bad. Virgil is Static Shock. Yeah,
that's cool.
So the Big Bang happens. Is this cloud of gas that releases, and he gets powers, and he becomes Static Shock. So he basically, just electric powers.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he actually ends up down the line in like the future. He becomes one of the strongest superheroes
in actual DC lore. Why haven't they made a movie about him or anything like that?
It's interesting, right? Because Ochoa and me talked one time when there was rumors that they were gonna make.
Ochoa is your old roommate and old Marine buddy.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know,
he was talking about the rumors that the new Superman was gonna be black, right? And
my God, what a crazy concept.
So I think there is a universe where he is, or regardless, I agree with what he had to say. He said, why don't they bring out the black superheroes they already have, which is one of the strongest, being Static Shock. It's like almost belittling their beginning and like, oh, let's just change this. But, that's...
It's like, who would you say... Because I'm down to have this pod go a little bit all over the place since we're just talking about straight up 90s creativity. Like... who would you say is the most popular black superhero? Like Black Panther? It's like that one's a heavy hitter,
I
but
think as a late it would be Black Panther, but in my
some-
opinion, Static Shock would destroy it.
some of the most iconic, I'd say, superheroes are white, or it's like Superman, Iron Man, Batman. Like there's renditions. Say
Piccolo for
Piccolo
sure is black.
is the blackest guy. He's blacker than Skeeter from Doug, for sure. But God bless it. There's just so many iconic characters, but I don't know what it would be like to not see myself in my heroes. So like Miles Morales, I think is an awesome Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like love Into the Spider-Verse, and what Stan Lee had to say. I might have told this story in the pod before, but from what I recall, Spider-Man had his mask on. Yes, he's Peter Parker, this white nerd, but when he's Spider-Man, anybody can identify with Spider-Man. It doesn't matter what race you are, how you identify. Once the mask is on, anybody can be Spider-Man.
I like
which is pretty cool. Who's the most popular black DC hero?
Again, I would say Static Shock.
Static Shock. He's a villain, or so a hero. Sorry.
Hero.
I was thinking of my next question, like the most popular villains.
Just because of his race, he has to be a villain.
Absolutely.
Okay, Aaron.
Black Vader, Darth Vader. The tap has gone completely racist.
No, but yeah, like that show was one of them. Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho. Mm-hmm. That one's solid. But maybe that one's even younger than 90s.
I'd say Yu Yu's probably 80s. It seemed like very classic, kind of Dragon Ball-esque animation. Yeah, kind of classic.
But I watched it in the 90s, so whatever.
There wasn't, I mean, other than the Boondocks, Samurai Jack was dope. The Boondocks was like the only show that had like straight black characters, but that wasn't in the 90s. I mean, what 90s cartoon had solely black characters?
You know what? I can't even think of
like any. A black main character.
I can't think of any.
I mean, Otto had a pretty good tan and Rocket Power, but they was white.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really comes to mind.
No.
There's like Doug,
I don't remember any Hispanic shows either, right? There was Mucha Lucha, but I mean
Mucha Lucha.
They had a character named the Flea. Okay.
The Flea. I mean, The Simpsons. I mean, those like adult cartoons, I guess. But we're talking more kids cartoons, more. Excuse me, coming of age.
South Park. We grew up.
South Park. My God, that is the furthest thing from a kids cartoon. Starring kids, they can get away with anything. Anything.
Unapologetically themselves.
Your Family Guys. There's just so much. So many cartoons born out of the 90s. But let's see. Let me get to one of the questions here. Blah, 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 blah. Hold on. Ooh. Because I saw this on Instagram the other day of just everybody wanted Arnold. Hey Arnold. One of the best. I mean, Gerald was an awesome character. His best friend.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold had some of the most iconic locations and just so cool. Like the premise of some of these shows. Like they have so much creative autonomy of what you can do. So you're in a city. Arnold's room. Who didn't want Arnold's room with the glass ceiling?
Yeah.
You know, like what are some like cartoon locations?
I just wanted a room.
That room would be dope. What I don't know. Are there any like locations that come to mind like when you're watching cartoons? Like Arnold's room was dope. The lookout in Dragon Ball Z, Kami's lookout.
The lookout, the treehouse in Codename Kids Next Door.
The treehouse. I never really watched too much of that, but I do respect that cool. Treehouse. What about Ed and Eddie? They had like just the cul-de-sac.
Eddie's room.
Eddie's room was sick. Eddie's room was really sick. Yeah. Ed lived like a homeless person. I doubt that his parents were even there.
Oh, he was in the basement.
And
his bathtub was full of gravy.
It's a back when the Eds change places. It's a tub of gravy. We're looking at here like SpongeBob SquarePants, a pineapple. Yeah. Honestly, Patrick's house I thought was like kind of cozy if you're just chilling underground. He's got sand, furniture, TV, all that. We're watching the episode right now.
It was like how about the satellite for the Avengers? Or was that early 2000s?
Oh, I will tip my cap to the early 2000s. Those are honorary 90s. The Justice League.
I hate the Avengers.
The Avengers? The Justice League. The
Justice League would destroy them.
Justice League would destroy the Avengers? who's gonna take out the Hulk versus Superman? I feel like Superman would find a way to kill him.
I think Superman would probably kill him.
If it was a naughty, evil Superman.
All you need is Batman.
Batman, I love the fact, and they even show, like, that cartoon was pretty deep in early 2000s Justice League, where Batman's like, I have a contingency to eliminate all of you in case you become compromised, even myself.
He's like General Mattis.
From, what's General Maddox from?
Mattis, the Marine Corps.
Mattis. Oh, is he just a naughty...
have a plan to kill everybody you meet?
I mean, it's a cool quote, but I'm not sure that breeds a lot of mental health if you're going about life.
There's more to the quote about There's more to the quote
sure.
about being professional and killing them.
Yeah, when I see my grandma next. All right, Granny, how this go?
You can't imagine the plans I've been plotting.
Who would you say is like your cool, like most badass 90s cartoon character? Just an absolute beast, killer, maybe anime or in like the kid stories.
I mean, it's gonna be Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Goku and Vegeta.
Vegeta is the truth. He's such a savage. I'd say Nickelodeon badasses. Otto Rocket was pretty badass for a 10-year-old.
Really?
He was. I mean, Ed with 1D. He's a badass. The idiot. Ed from Ed and Eddie.
Oh, but that's Cartoon Network. That's not Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I mean, it's both. I guess let's Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. Let's combine the two. Like,
Ed probably got Goku level powers
for sure. Voiced by the same. No, Rolf was voiced by the guy that voices Goku.
The son of the shepherd.
Son of a shepherd. Otto was a pretty dope character. Like a 10-year-old being able to snowboard, surf, and like one of the locations I had in mind, the Shore Shack was dope. It's the first restaurant on the pier. You're just chilling right there. It's open.
Oh, you see, I didn't even remember that, and I used to watch that show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Tito's fat ass is cooking up all the burgers. He sleeps upstairs.
I was more of a fan of Rocco's Modern Life.
That was a wacky show. That was one of the shows that were too taboo. Debbie Gertz said, none of this.
How did she find out?
I was watching. She's like, none of this. Ren and Stimpy, none of that. Get it out of here.
I was never a fan of Ren and
Stimpy
at all.
It was so wild.
And even looking at it now, it's just like, really?
It's outrageous. It's hilarious, though. And then wrestling, too. Wrestling in the 90s. She saw one too many suckets and like, no, you're not watching this. Nah, D-Generation X, not for my children. How dare she? How dare she tell me, a child, what to watch? What I consume.
She gave you life and a place to live. You take it back.
How dare she?
She gave me a place to live too.
Well, let me go piddle. Hit play instead of record. What an idiot. That part was a little stinky, but I have more. So let's see here. Iconic locations. Dexter's Lab. Dexter's Lab. Let's break it down. I love the sound that Dee Dee's shoes made when she'd walked. Another phrase, like a core memory that these cartoons instilled in me: omelette du fromage. And Dexter, he tries to cram French overnight, and then that's all he can say from now on. He acquires world-renowned fame. All right, here's a little trivia question for you. Do you know Dexter's Lab that well?
Decent.
What was in that episode where he learns omelette du fromage? What was the password to get into his lab?
Yeah, I don't.
Star Wars.
Okay.
Star Wars, he says. But like, there's so many cool ways he got into his lab. And then Mandark. That was cool.
I hated that.
Mandark was an asshole.
Yeah.
But that not only was Dexter, the original Dexter, they did some remakes later on. They're just not even, like, the animation's different. It's just totally lame. But there's always 3 episodes. It was Dexter, and then it was either I Am Monkey or The Justice Friends, which was hilarious. There's like a Captain America character,
Van
a purple
Halen.
Valhalla. No, it wasn't.
No,
Valhalla. Valhalla's the place you died.
Yeah.
Major Glory, the Imbraggable Crunk.
I'm pretty sure it's Val Halen.
Valhalla, yeah. The rocker, yeah, the Viking. His room in the apartment was just like this epic, like, galaxy of planets and stuff like that. It was sick. But Dexter's Lab, that's one of my all-time favorites.
Really?
And Cartoon Network, that Johnny Bravo was awesome. Ed, Edd n Eddy, of course. And then I would definitely want to
Samurai Jack.
Samurai
It's gotta be
Jack.
on there.
I remember watching that, like, I think it was the first episode where he just takes on an entire army of robots, and he's just slays them all. I didn't watch too much more after that. I thought it was cool. I wasn't a huge fan of its animation type, which that's big for me. That's why I'm not super keen on old anime.
Well, fan fiction is Samurai Jack is actually Professor Oak.
No way.
So he
Explain.
Supposedly, he ends up going. He travels through universes and timelines.
Samurai Jack?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he eventually gets to that timeline, and he discovers that Professor X died. So he takes over, and boom.
Professor X or Professor Oak?
Professor Oak is Pokemon, bro.
Yeah, you said Professor Oak.
I said Professor X.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure.
X? Oh. He's Professor X?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at him, they look a lot alike.
I mean, he's not bald.
Professor X is not bald.
No, Samurai Jack's not bald.
Neither of them are bald.
But he can walk. Samurai Jack can walk.
So can Professor
X is in the wheelchair, bro.
Professor Utonium.
Utonium?
He used Chemical X to create the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, that professor.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the Powerpuff Girls a little bit. Who was your favorite one?
Buttercup.
Yeah, she's bad. She looked just this angry little shit.
Exactly.
These are just, yeah, she's a badass, but they all play their part. Not a lot of diversity in the Powerpuff Girls.
What do you mean?
We're the black Powerpuff Girls. We're the Hispanic Powerpuff Girls. We're the Oriental Powerpuff Girls. Just 3 privileged, white, chemically engineered superheroes.
They had a gay dude in there.
The devil-looking guy.
Him.
And Mojo Jojo.
That was his pronoun.
Him. That show was before its time. A Dexter's Lab. I think Getty to definitely the same creators of Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
But Samurai Jack, I tip my cap to how awesome it is, and just
the
this
voice
show.
actor of Samurai Jack, he does a lot of voices.
Yeah, it's incredible when you look at their resume of work. Say the guy that does Fry from Futurama, another amazing cartoon. He's the Red M&M. He's Doug. Do you know off the top of your head any other voices that the guy from Samurai Jack did?
I know he was in was it Dead Island, the game?
Dead Eye. Oh.
Yeah. But he is in a lot of shows.
A voice that I freaking loved. I didn't realize it was Bender. Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War.
Yeah,
the voice of Bender.
In a lot of things.
He is. You're like,
He's,
man, he's a badass guy.
Who is he? He's Jake the dog.
Jake the dog. Oh, in Adventure Time.
Yeah.
That one, that came out mid 2000s, yeah?
I believe so.
All right, so Adventure Time, I respect, and regular show. Between the two, regular show,
hands down.
But Adventure Time had some wild, ridiculous episodes. Some of the stuff they do, I'm like, this is some dark, like, they didn't realize, like, the PC culture hadn't come out and ruined everybody's lives yet. The fact that we were able to take a joke or just be ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous, and we're like, hey, take whatever politics you're trying to infuse in the story that is not allowing for it. People will just add extra stuff to it just to be offended.
Yeah, no,
just to ruin the fun.
Slippery slope we're in right now, right?
It's very slippery.
It's kind of shitty, right? Where someone's like, well, that offends me, I don't want it. So then that other person can say, well, that offends me, I don't want it. But it seems like it's only allowed to offend a certain demographic nowadays, so they can get rid of it. But if it's the other way around, they can't get rid of it. I think just leave it open.
Leave it to interpretation.
There's a couple number one rules in there. Don't break those. Other than that, have fun.
Have fun. Take a joke. Like, of all like the 90s cartoons, we're watching SpongeBob right now. I mean, there's nothing about this that screams racism or promoting a political agenda. It is just silly. And parents
there was those rumors that was making children IQ drop.
I mean, if anything, I thought it just increased creativity. When you think about what they're doing, what SpongeBob, the character, is capable of, he can take a beating and not get hurt from flats. The food are just, it's just the sheer insanity of it, I think, helps. Like, is it traditional education? Like, no, it's not. It's not Bill Nye the Science Guy. But it, I think, helps inspire a little creativity. It's okay to be a little wacky, a little out there. Be animated yourself. I mean, at least that's for me. Some kids are more reserved, or maybe they don't roll like that. Then watch a dark, moody anime. Watch Akira. Watch some wild stuff. What do we got here? So what do you think? I mean, we're just honing in on it. Just what made 90s cartoons and early 2000 cartoons the truth? Like, what puts them over the edge? Why was this the golden age, the golden era?
It's simply going to be the fact that we were born in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We were raised with it.
That's really it. Because you take any other generation, there's always going to say theirs is better, right?
I mean, what 80s cartoons, 70s cartoons, or 60s cartoons could compare to the... I mean, Tom and Jerry's hilarious.
I mean, Tom and Jerry's one of those cartoons that helped me build a relationship with my father.
Yeah.
Because we would watch it together.
When you think back at that, is some of the most beautiful backdrop art. It's like the noir. It's kind of 40s New York, almost 50s. It's just so beautifully illustrated. Mm-hmm. Even like SpongeBob to a certain extent. Like Tom and Jerry had some of the greatest animation. What cartoons stand out to you is just like this animation is dope. The drawing, the colors, the vibrance. Is there anything that stands out?
I mean,
Hey Arnold was kind of cool. Like just the cityscape.
Hey Arnold had a kind of like a funky vibe.
It had a very funky vibe.
Yeah.
It was different. Very like, these are abstract characters. Like, look at their heads. It's all just so ridiculous, goofy looking. Football head. I love the episode where I think it's Harold, Stinky, and Sid moon the principal. And Arnold gets blamed for it. They show a sketch of all three of their asses. I don't know if you'll be able to do that.
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill was dope.
I love
King of the Hill's great.
Yeah.
An adult show, I'd say. An adult show.
That's
an adult cartoon.
I'd say borderline with The Simpsons. Less fart jokes, more grown-up adult humor, politics involved in there. I mean, Hank Hill definitely was quite conservative, so having to adjust to the new world, just like most of us, the new world that we're in, to his extent was, having to come to terms with things are changing, and that's okay.
It's cool
because he was actually such a nice character, right? Like,
absolutely.
There was that Chris Rock played that one character, Buddha.
I don't recall.
I'm pretty sure it was Chris Rock. But people thought that Hank was borderline racist, and then where I think Bernie Mac played another character, which was working on his water boiler, on his water heater.
I remember Snoop Dogg was the pimp,
the
white dude from Oklahoma.
Named Slickback.
I am the Mac Daddy of Highland County. Well, Hank was a certain point of view that you can identify with. It's funny, but it's like he's more traditional. He's very traditional. He's also like a bitch compared to Cotton, who's he's uber traditional, and Hank's just not in his.
He's a war hero, borderline war criminal.
Cotton. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I do hate Peggy Hill though.
Oh,
she's infuriating.
My wife hates Peggy Hill. Good.
If Victoria hates her, then that's my A-okay to hate someone. Yeah. Bobby, borderline hateable. He's like very irritating times. I say early Bobby's better, but then he just turns into, he's just this wild douche. But besides, I feel like The Simpsons in the 90s run was it was stupid, but it was so funny. It was so lowbrow, but it was tongue-in-cheek and just clever.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get behind the new one. I haven't watched it, but I'm assuming most likely I wouldn't be able to.
Anything newly made with the nonsensical, like the confines, the rules of society now, a cartoon, I guess in my opinion, it isn't allowed to be as much as it can be. Anime is the only thing that I feel like, because it's so unique, the premise of it and just what happens, and perhaps the fact that it's made in Japan, it's like they don't give a fuck about society's rules anymore, or being PC, because it's its own thing. It's so, I don't know, removed from all the nonsense that we're dealing with over here.
All I know is about animes, especially 90s animes. They are very violent.
Does you like the violence?
Oh yeah.
The blood, like, it is obscenely violent.
Well, you're the one that told me. Remember when Dragon Ball Z went to Nickelodeon and they got rid of all the blood?
They got rid of everything. Like, give me a little bit of blood. There's so many, like, limbs getting cut off and people shoving their arms through each other's chests. That's good stuff. It's bloody stuff.
Made me the man that I am today.
Absolutely.
Hungry.
That kind of goes back to Toonami a little bit. There's some dope kind of, I don't know if it's just on Toonami or...
You remember that?
Zoinks?
Zoids.
That does sound familiar. Zoids?
Yeah, it was like...
That, oh, it sounds so familiar.
Or it was more like Gundam, but you piloted mechs that were animals.
Ooh, I do recall a little bit of that. I would need to see it, but I'll be like, oh, I think
the first season was solid. After that, it kind of fell off.
There were like early Adult Swim or just kind of, teenage cartoons, like the newer Johnny Quest, where they had the 3D world they go into. I was like, this is insane.
I never
3D
saw too
world.
much of that.
It was dope. There was Reboot. That was all 3D, which is like the characters had like purple skin. I guess that was the closest thing to, yeah. It's just new age. Sailor Moon on Toonami.
I do like the Mike Tyson show, which oddly resembles 90s cartoons.
The Mike Tyson. Did
you watch it at my place?
I know what it is. He's just always in
correction at your house.
My house. No, I did not see it. Oh, look, it's the SpongeBob episode. Dun dun dun. Toonami had some great cartoons. What? Hold on. What do I got here? Johnny Quest, Space Ghost, the real Space Ghost, not Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I saw a little bit of it.
Show. It was actually kind of cool. Birdman.
You know what show surprised me that wasn't closer to our era? Scooby-Doo.
Oh my God! How did we? Good call. Good call.
That is so old.
I was like at least 60s. So like Shaggy and Scooby are absolute stoners,
and then
eating everything.
My aunt told my mom that it's the devil, and my mom was like, "Hey, your aunt said this." I was like, "Ah, no." That's
what did your mom sit and watch an episode and be like, "Where does the devil?"
No.
I mean, there's monsters, but they're not really monsters.
Exactly.
They're just.
And I think the more conspiracy theory about it was that they were just getting out the van and they were just high as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Then Freddy always be like, "Oh, Velma, get out of here so I can poke Daphne."
Even though everyone knows Velma was the truth.
You think Velma was hotter than Daphne?
Hands down.
Really?
Who don't like nerdy, thick women?
Nerdy, thick. I mean, she were thick. Good for Velma. Was Shaggy giving her a poking?
Probably not.
No? Where was Velma getting her love?
Had to have been Scooby.
No, I'm playing. Man.
Probably the ghosts.
I was like as they're doing the little montage running down the hall back and forth.
Hers.
She's definitely like you see the ghost just banging her like forward. Oh Velma. I mean, she's cute though. Jinkies, she says. If we may transition a little bit to 90s movies, were there any like animated 90s movies that stick out to you, or just movies in general? I mean, there's so many good. I think
animated
within a year,
movies.
When Disney movies come to mind,
it would
when it comes
be
to animation.
Anything Tim Burton, right?
Oh, so your Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
What year did that come out?
93.
93. It's that old. Really?
Yeah.
That
pretty sure
ages very well. I mean, you can't. It's claymation.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
What about? We were just talking about this. I just mentioned that the Cat and Victoria.
Scooby-Doo.
Jack and the Giant Peach.
Jack and the Giant Peach
90s?
was it's gotta be maybe like a 96. James and the Giant Peach.
Was it
James and the Giant Peach? Yeah, that was wild. It was like part claymation, part real life.
Yeah.
And the ants go like they drive their car under the ocean. Like Tim Burton's a wild man. That is some wild shit. Beetlejuice.
The Scooby-Doo movie, Zombie Island.
Zombie Island was dope. The Hex Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, they're foxy. Like I would say Disney kind of owned animated movies in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Lion King.
Pixar before they got bought out, right?
Pixar, like, because I did a bracket on the tap one time of just the best Disney animated movies and then 3D movies.
So then you should have the list down. What
I
are
don't
they?
recall. I gave it to Aladdin, to be honest with you. It was between Aladdin and Lion King. No, Mulan and Aladdin, I think, were in the finals. Possibly. Those are both awesome. But Lion King,
Mulan would be better in my opinion.
Mulan was epic.
Mushu, Eddie Murphy.
His voice acting was insane. Aladdin, I think I gave it to Aladdin for the winner just because the Robin Williams, the funniness of it was epic. It was so rest in peace, Robin. But that final fight with Jafar was dope. But I'm not sure why I was trying to be different. Lion King has to be. I'm looking back now. That is just so goat-like. There's no. I get chills thinking about the wildebeest running down.
I don't know what year it was, but for me, I think best Disney movie would be The Fox and the Hound.
That's one of those old ones that slipped through my nets. I can respect it. I didn't see Robin Hood either, with all the animals.
That's a good one, but that's got to be old.
It's very old. Jungle Book's old.
King Arthur. Was it called King Arthur?
That might be the Robin Hood one.
No, that's a different one.
Oh, really? I did not see King Arthur.
Maybe it's not called that. But he pulls the sword. There's the wizard in it.
Ooh.
There's that witch that turns into a dragon. That's like 60s as well.
60s.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely good animated of old. But in modern age, 90s, Toy Story was the truth.
Yeah.
That was just the concept of how it all we never seen anything like it before, which is incredible. That technology and how it came all smooth, the voice acting of it all, like it was just like the voices. I would love to see the voice actors behind their characters and just see them lose their mind. Say the Ed and Eddies.
Yeah.
Or Dragon Ball Z, just having the guy scream into a goddamn microphone for 20 minutes.
You remember Meteor Man?
Meteor Man? No. Meteor Man?
Yeah.
Who the hell's Meteor Man?
Meteor Man.
Not a Mexican cartoon.
No, it was a movie. Meteor, not
You mean Rocket Man? Is it animated?
No, it's live action.
Oh, I mean, people love Brave. I know Brave Little Toaster. Didn't watch it, but I saw it.
That's a solid one.
I saw the previews.
Now that I'm older, I'll probably cry if I watch that.
Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah.
Never seen it all through. Never seen it. I would say it might have been an 80s cartoon, but my favorite animated Disney in all the biasness in all the land was The Rescuers Down Under. The kid's in Australia. He gets kidnapped by this guy, and the two little mice have to go and save him. It's badass.
I've never seen that.
It's badass. Like the mice are like these heroes, the rescuers. This kid gets kidnapped, and they go to Australia and they save his ass. It's dope. It's dope.
It's animated?
It's animated. It's sick.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. But just 90s movies in general, like unanimated, just the 90s. We're popping off. Meteor Man.
You gotta watch it. It's a.
What's the premise? Tell me about Meteor Man.
From what I remember, a meteor fell down and it gave this dude powers. Yeah.
That's meteors do.
Yeah. I mean, since it's October, I actually was making a list earlier today.
Yeah, what kind of scary movies you got for me?
Sleepy Hollow. That was a Tim Burton one.
Yeah. That was Johnny Depp.
I don't think this is necessarily a scary movie, but I absolutely love it, even though it's pretty trash. It's Spawn, back in '97.
Oh, absolutely, with the
Michael Jai White.
Michael Jai White and John Leguizamo.
Yeah, he played the Violator.
Ooh, the Violator. I don't mean to completely derail us, but like the Disney Channel, like those movies, like Johnny Tsunami, Your fucking Brinks, Motocross, Can of Worms, Don't Look Under the Bed.
Was it Double Trouble? Was one of them?
Double Team with the two tall ass ladies, twins.
No, I'm in my 30s. I think that's
Double Trouble.
You know?
No, those movies were so iconic. One that
Hocus Pocus is a Disney one, right?
I think so. Oh, Halloween Town.
Halloween
Town, Calabar. So Skylar and I will quote that movie all the time. Well, not the entire movie, but just one part where they're going broom shopping for the witch, and the guy running it, like there's this asshole in town, Luke, and he's just he like kind of pushes things over. He's just this thug, and the guy's like, "Hey man, that Luke dude, that guy is such a wiener." So Skylar and I just. It's been over 20 years. We cannot.
That dude needs to get tuned up, bro.
Luke, he does. Well, he just gets his nose back at the end, like once they defeat Calabar at the end, and relight the candle within the town's pumpkin. And God bless it. God bless it. Halloween Town.
Solid.
Disney had some heaters.
Yeah.
Disney had some absolute heaters. One was Wendy Wu, Homecoming Queen. Ari showed me it. It is like the funniest kung fu. Like there's kung fu,
Who
but
didn't
it's
have the biggest crush on that actress?
huh?
Who didn't have the biggest crush on that actress?
Wendy Wu.
Yeah,
She's
the girl that played her.
super cute. Super. I think
She's
Macaulay
married
Culkin's
to
banging her.
They're married. They have a kid.
They have a kid.
Yeah.
Good for
He's
Macaulay.
finally off drugs.
Oh man, that's good. That
He beat you to it.
Macaulay, you son of a bitch, you fertile, blonde, goofy. I saw him recently on American Horror Story.
Really?
He was like a heroin addict. I mean, he played an okay part. You're just like, all right, it's Macaulay Culkin.
I mean, I think he'd play a perfect part.
He was method acting. He never had a drug problem. He's method acting. Method acting.
You're not a scary movie guy, huh?
Not really. Not unless they're like 80s, like really terrible movies or just
Like
the old. The Thing I
watch
liked
that? Yeah, okay,
with Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
that thing
dude,
was
so-
that's genuinely scary. Signs was scary as shit.
I still remember my brother almost pissed himself watching Signs. It was a scene where the alien walked by.
Oh, absolutely. That
But the
was
thing is, I guess I stood up and went walking to the bathroom.
at that same time.
So simultaneously, he saw that
no.
and he panicked. Yeah,
Francisco.
he straight up told me, he's like, "Yo, I almost peed myself." No, but
I saw that in theaters with my dad.
what
That
do you
was
say?
so goddamn scary. I mean, Benny Gertz ain't gonna let you know if he's scared or not.
Like,
But
what?
it
I
was
paid to watch this.
It was pretty goddamn scary. And like when they're in the basement and the hand goes over the kid's face, like
dude,
there's some
yeah.
subtle jumps.
You know, it's just crazy to me because they live in a farm. You think they'd have a bunch of guns. I
You'd think.
I don't care that their vulnerability, or even, let's just say they're allergic to water, right?
Yeah.
Light them up. Just
Anybody
shoot
is
them.
allergic to acute lead poisoning. That is wow. I didn't even think about that. Swing away, Merle. He has Joaquin Phoenix.
If we were in that same situation, come on.
Oh my God, there's
it wouldn't be
just-
swing away and be like, light them up.
Light him up, Martinez, and you're just like there's all the corn is just toppling over.
New York reload. Drop one, pick up the other.
No, that would have been very different. It was the Martinez Ranch. It's like water. Oh my God, water's the cure to
I'm
this
the one
alien
scared of water.
problem.
I can't swim.
No,
But real quick, but like the horror movies, that's another one.
the
90s,
old one
the
from the
OG.
90s with Tim Curry
Dude.
is laughable. That is not scary in any stretch of
still
the
love the movie.
imagination.
You
It's
know
good. Candyman scared the shit out of me.
This may,
Candyman was super
I am
scary.
married to a woman. I'm going to say that to start this off.
A woman?
But Tim Curry was actually a handsome dude.
I mean, his eyes.
Victoria showed me this movie, which I don't know what it's called.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Is that where they're trying to find the killer?
It's one where he's a tranny.
No, that's a different one.
Ah.
No, but it's just like he's a handsome dude. He's got this like creepy vibe to him.
He's got a creepy vibe. I mean, his eyes are kind of bulging out of his head, but once he can get over that, they realize that he's a fish in human form.
Yours are falling out your head as we speak.
I mean, like SpongeBob when he's sick with the suds.
I don't know. I had to say that though because like I was watching. My wife wants to watch that movie with me because I've never seen it. The one I was just talking about that I don't know the name of.
Indeed.
And I was like, hey, damn, like Tim Curry's actually
Nah,
a handsome dude.
sometimes
I
like
normally would see him like that's kind of a scary, ugly dude. you know?
He like walking down the street. You'd assume. I've always liked him as an actor.
It's his laugh and his smile that scares the hell out of me.
Oh, and Home Alone 2, which I think is superior to Home Alone 1. 90s movies is just fake. He's just smiling. Get back here, you little thief. Man, like that part in Home Alone 2. Hold on, I'm gonna change this episode.
Scream on the
Scream.
Ghostface.
That one, Scream. Like, it wasn't so much of a horror movie. What did that come out? 99?
96.
96. Scream came out.
Yeah.
It was such a play on the rules of horror movies. Like, even Jamie Kennedy's in it. He's like, no, if you have sex, that's when you die. If you do drugs, that's when you die. And Shaggy's in it, and he's one of the killers. And it's such a... It's not a spoof. It's not a comedy, but kind of...
It was supposed
I don't know.
to,
Interesting
it was supposed
take.
to crack a joke on itself with being serious.
It had a serious air to it, for sure. And I would need to watch it again. That's a classic. Courtney Cox is in it. David Arquette's in it.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
She's still like pretty bombshell, isn't it?
No, she had enough plastic
no.
surgery to like almost as much as Michael Jackson. Not nearly as much, but she looks like an absolute monster.
Maybe
now.
I'm thinking about someone else. The one that came out in Halloween, and she's in the new.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, not her.
Oh.
Even though she's in it, the other girl looks a lot younger, and they're probably.
I haven't seen the new. Was it Halloween Ends?
It's that one. It's Halloween, the 2018 one.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Oh, Danny Trejo's in that one. He gets killed.
No, that's a different one.
Another.
That's the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah, the first Rob Zombie one.
I'm not talking about the Rob Zombie one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, God bless it, Martinez. There are all these Halloween. What a franchise. All right. There's one I remember watching with Ari back in the day, and it was so absurd and ridiculous. It was Jason 2000, and honestly, they're in a house and they set up all these cameras, and Buster Rhymes is in it, and he is one of the only people to survive. What?
That's not Jason.
Oh,
that's Michael Myers.
Halloween. Oh, Michael Myers. My apologies. And he does karate.
That's Halloween H2O.
H2O or
I'm pretty sure it's Halloween H2O.
Or 2K or
I'm pretty
whatever.
Sure
it's I think year 2000.
Yeah.
And it is so absurd because they try like this is highly technological. It's 2000s technology.
Yeah.
But he is this badass who knows karate, and he probably saw the script and is like, nah, here's what's gonna happen.
Look, I don't know if Buster Rhymes can fight, but if he could, he'd probably be very dangerous. That man is huge.
He's yoked.
Yeah,
He's
he got
jacked.
back into it. I'm happy about that.
Break your
I've
neck.
Always been a fan of him.
Break your neck is a promise.
Yeah.
That is the song that when older brother Keith was a freshman in high school, he was playing varsity basketball, right? Keith was balling, and they came out to Break Your Neck. Like that's when they'd run around the court, and I was like, break your neck, come on! Like, it was dope.
But we're talking about all those villains, if you will, right?
Villains.
So it was Michael Myers.
Yep.
Jason, Leprechaun, Scream,
Freddy.
Freddy.
80s, but they had some 90s renditions.
No, they had 90s as well. Yeah.
Let me toss Scar out there for you. Scar from Lion King, voiced by Jeremy Irons. Fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I'm talking about stuff that can kill you.
Scar can kill you.
He's a cartoon.
All right, you're talking horror movie.
Hey man, it's October.
I got you.
I have not watched
Jurassic Park. Scared the shit out of me.
That's considered a scary movie. I never knew that.
Is that a horror movie?
It's considered a horror movie.
Really? I guess. I mean, there is fear. They're running away from like the raptors. I'd say like horror adventure.
A velociraptor hate me.
It's. I guess it. On technicality, I'd say it's like an adventure movie that is very frightening. I couldn't watch that shit. It was so scary. Getting eaten alive. Raptors, T-Rexes, those two kids, I couldn't wait for them to die. I could not stand those two, the boy and the little boy and girl.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
You know what? I've never been attacked by no dinosaur.
Do you think you'd be able to? You versus a velociraptor. What's happening?
I'm shooting it.
Yeah. Very good.
First of all, also, aren't they like the size of chickens?
No, those are the compies. Maybe they're a little bit bigger in the movie, but I feel like people would fare as the same they would against a grizzly bear. People think they could take a grizzly bear or even a black bear or any bear one-on-one.
I go black bear hunting every year.
But if you didn't have your gun and only had knives.
Well, if it's a black bear, I think I am willing to say my odds are a lot better than a mountain lion.
You think would you rather take on, I mean, we're almost at the off the cuff portion of this, the TAP episode, 10 random questions. But would you you would rather take on a black bear than a mountain lion?
Any day.
Hand-to-hand combat. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to do no hand-to-hand combat, but if I had to hand-to-hand, yeah, I'm going head-to-toe with that black bear.
Man, I would go mountain lion.
You're dead.
I know I'm dead. I mean, anybody's dead going against mountain lion, black bear. Like, there's no survival.
The average black bear up at Tahoe area.
Those aren't real. That is. I'm just saying, they're so domesticated.
Well, I hunt around the El Dorado National Forest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not that big.
They're not. It's like their strength, though. Their killing instinct. But, the thousands of years, millions of years.
I mean, I think the average black bear is, around that area is probably going to be 300-ish pounds. That ain't much.
Well, it's their strength here. That's 300 pounds of straight muscle and ferocity and killing instinct and claws.
What a coincidence! We're on the same level.
Indeed.
Playing field.
Your claws are manicured. Your claws aren't grown out. It appears.
I got this.
You got that ring.
14-ounce
Ooh.
gold carat diamond ring.
What if the bear had one of those rings on? You're like, oh shit.
Then it's a fair fight.
Yeah. A mountain lion. My plan. If I'm lucky enough to see it coming towards me,
that's exactly it.
They'll come up behind me, rip my throat out.
Yeah,
if I see one coming at me, which I won't, stick my left arm out, let this big cat just completely munch down on it. I'm in pain, but then a surge of adrenaline comes, and I'm gonna use my thumb and just try to poke out one of its eyes, maybe two, and I'll be one arm less than going into it, but will have survived by like blinding this creature. After throwing rocks at it and stuff. Do you see that video of the guy, like, he's getting, like, the mountain lion's right in front of him. And he's like, you stay away. Stay away. And, like, the mountain lion pounces a little bit, kind of challenges him, mock rushes him. Mm-hmm. There's even one of those in the Wild Boys. Like a grizzly bear mock charges Manny. And just...
Manny Puig.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you're dead.
You gonna try the soju?
Yeah, crack it up.
I'm gonna crack it after I take this piss.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Just an update. So we both came back from potty breaks, and I'm looking down, text on the phone. Yvonne's like, "Hey, Aaron, check this out." Luckily, I didn't hear his zipper, so I look up, and he's like, I just get blinded by this fucking flashlight. Martinez, so what?
You always have to have a flashlight on.
Always keep that thing on you. So what are we sipping on here? What is this Sunhari apple, original Korean flavored soju? What is this soju? Soju. It's like a wine.
I guess so. I know sake is rice wine. This is more just flavored liqueur, if you will, I guess.
Made from the dead bodies of the Northern Korean murdered?
I don't know, but this reminds me, my buddy Tandy has his restaurant still open for another month, so you gotta make it out to Sacramento and get some sushi yo.
Is it about to close?
Yeah.
Por qué?
They're finally gonna get a new location, bigger.
Oh, okay. The business isn't closing, they're just moving spots.
So he's gonna be gone for like 8 months. He's gonna travel to Japan and study some more to get better at his craft.
From Hattori Hanzo.
Perhaps. Maybe Chef Morimoto himself.
Chef Morimoto. How racist of me. Cheers. Skull. It's so smooth. Like if you weren't told that's an alcoholic beverage, you would sip that as gingerly as a soda. Perhaps.
I mean, we do that anyways at the parties.
It's delicious. Oh, it's so good. Ivan Martinez.
Yeah.
Senor Sin Cara. We're here. We're videoless, but it's okay. This is theater of the mind. This voice recording, and it makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to edit any stupid ass videos. It's time for off the cuff. 10 random questions that are just about anything. They may have something to do with what we've been talking about. They may not. Not even close. So here we go. And I wrote it down, and I'm going to read these words to you in question form. Are you ready? Is your mustache ready?
Always.
What is your mustache's name?
Sin Cara.
El Bigote. All right, here we go. What is the greatest gun ever made? You, as a gun enthusiast.
I hate to say it, but well, I'm just gonna go somewhat American in this because realistically, we love Hitler's buzzsaw.
What's Hitler's buzzsaw?
It's an MG. I can't remember the last bit of that name, but it's just the machine gun that they made.
That the Nazis used?
It spits.
The Nazis made
fast.
It. Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, my favorite's always gonna be my M240 Bravo.
That's the one you had in the Marines, like your heavy machine gun?
Medium
machine gun. Any love for the AK-47?
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, just the durability of it.
Yep.
Like, what makes that the gun?
47, 74, AKM, RPKs, which is a variant, just the heavier versions. I mean, they're just solid. They just run. Mikhail Kalashnikov was.
You'd think that these communists wouldn't be able to make something that would last longer than 3 days, but they made something everlasting.
It's used all over the world. I mean, the Chinese variations weren't as great, but they're extremely popular now from like the Norinco models. Mm-hmm. Absolutely love those.
Oh, well, good for them. They're killing prowess. Number two. Oh, this question. Did you ever poop your pants in the Marines during training or just otherwise out on the field?
No.
Anything like that? No poopy pants?
No, I mean.
Any pee-pee pants?
Once.
Once?
Yeah.
Were you laughing?
No, well, I mean, I guess. It was just, I was behind a machine gun and started raining.
It wasn't pee, Martinez.
Yeah, no, yeah.
If you're firing a machine gun, you are jizzing your pants.
Debatable, right?
Yeah.
It's up for debate. But yeah, no, it was just raining a lot and I really had to go and we were shooting and I was like, I mean, this is as good a place as any.
Does anybody know this until now? All the followers of the tap.
Everybody knew. It didn't matter.
You guys, hey guys.
I was warm for 3 seconds.
That's a great 3 seconds.
Because it was cold.
My God. Oh, so that's why you did it.
It was
a
storm. It was cold, and I couldn't get up off the gun. So
it was strategic. Were you just
like everything I do?
Wait, was it just like your pants just start steaming like Martinez? What the hell's going on here?
The problem is I had Gore-Tex on, so it kind of it got stuck in there.
Oh my goodness! No, the things you've told me about your training I feel like more dangerous than combat itself in some ways. Which is how you had to prepare for it.
It's stupid.
Number 3. Okay, I always and somewhere in the off the cuff questions I have to ask. It's one-on-one naked combat between 2 individuals. It is balls and brains, possibly oiled up, however you imagine it. Ric Flair versus Rick James, one-on-one naked combat to the
Rick
death.
James is winning.
Rick James over Ric Flair?
Absolutely. Have you seen his feet work?
I have not seen his feet work.
Amazing.
Where'd you see his feet work?
Everywhere.
I don't understand what that means. So, but the feet work. I mean, does he survive the figure 4 leg lock? I feel like Flair would get that.
Rick ain't gonna touch him.
Not gonna touch him.
Nah.
How does Rick James dispatch Ric Flair? What's the killing blow?
The amount of drugs that man has done, he's gonna beat Ric Flair.
Like he could have his neck snapped and he's
still coming at
just
you.
puts it back on. Oh my God.
Super Freak is going on in the background.
He's singing it. What a song to die to. Does Ric Flair put up a fight? I mean, let's fucking Flair, baby.
I mean, back in the day, yeah. I mean, the guy
in their
massive,
prime. I'm talking.
They were on steroids and all sorts of drugs.
80s, coked out. Apparently, Ric Flair never did coke. Never did coke. He's just an alcoholic. So
I find that very hard to believe.
I find it extremely hard to believe. But
that's why his hair was so blonde. It wasn't his natural color. It was cocaine.
He was just all about just the hype, the excitement of the moment. I mean, and the copious amounts of alcohol, like the amount of alcohol.
A lot of people that you'd think would be on drugs and they're not. They're just dumb.
It's just Rick James. I mean, he is on more coke. He has enough coke to the coke rock that he sniffed would sink the Titanic.
Absolutely.
I could see him winning, like a lot of desperation, like just murder. But he died shortly thereafter to his wounds. Ric Flair puts up a fight. I feel like Ricky wouldn't go down without a fight. Or a couple of wounds.
I said what I said.
I hear you. I guess you're allowed to have an opinion. Number 4. All right. If you were a cartel boss, I didn't come up with this question just because you're Mexican, but if you were a cartel boss, you're the head honcho, and you guys had a calling card, like the way you executed people, what would be like your way of executing people? Like, oh my God, this is El Martinez.
I'm a pacifist.
El Bigote.
I'm a pacifist.
Pacifist?
Yeah.
Oh, so like you just let him starve to death or what?
I'm just a pacifist. I wouldn't hurt anybody.
How you? Oh, a cartel boss that doesn't hurt anybody. The hell you think this is? Come on. How would you kill somebody? You've told me some insane things you would do to people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I got you. You would never hurt a fly.
Never.
I got you. I feel like let somebody live to the old age. It's like
so they can live in regret.
Live in regret.
For their actions.
Life is a far more devastating penalty than death.
Sometimes.
My goodness. I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Number 5. What is the greatest dish in all of Mexican food?
Oh, man.
All of it.
I've already said this, actually, last time. It's just going to be bean and cheese tacos.
Bean and cheese tacos?
They're solid.
Made by your mother? It's my boy Brad Prescott. Saying what's good. Bean and cheese tacos?
Simple.
What kind of tortilla? Corn?
Yep.
No carne? Like, you gotta give me something a little more exotic. No ceviche,
if we're
like
really
quesadillas. Yeah, let's
go there.
Let's go there. It's a tap.
It's gonna be mole.
The soup?
No.
Is it mole soup?
No.
What is mole?
It's like a spicy chocolate sauce on chicken. You've
Chocolate sauce on
Aaron,
chicken?
you grew up on it when you'd come over to my mother's house.
I know, like, your mom's cooking is unparalleled. And
You
like,
had it so many times.
I've had a lot of good food at your mom's house. Spanish rice. Is Spanish rice the best of rice?
My mother's rice is the best of rice.
Yeah. It's good. It is good.
You didn't even have some at the party.
I didn't?
No.
Did I have some?
Actually,
you warmed up some tamales. Those were
you
delicious.
came home.
Your mom's pork tamales, bomb.com. They're delicious. Taco Bell is not real Mexican food. I mean, burritos are hard to beat. Like a carnitas burrito, like that crispiness is so delicious. There's just spitballing on Mexican dishes.
You gotta come to Los Angeles with me one of these days.
Some street tacos.
Compton and Vernon.
Like
right
a
there,
cheese
that corner of
quesadilla.
the intersection.
So at Trejo's Tacos in
great
LA, fried chicken cheese quesadillas. Like crispy slices of fried chicken in the quesadilla itself. With some sour cream to dip it in.
No, man.
Delish.
I like La Carreta.
What's La Carreta?
It's in the intersection of Compton and Vernon
What's that?
in LA.
Or like
it's a
the
Mexican
food.
place.
Just good food.
Oh, man. That's amazing.
They have gunpowder in it? In Compton?
Everything.
Everything, Toto.
Every time I go there, I have my couple things I have to do every time I'm down south. Let's go visit my old barber. Got to get a haircut from him.
Of course.
Got to go to Porto's.
Porto's.
Yep.
What's Porto's?
It's a Cuban bakery.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah, they have the potato balls.
Yeah, delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, those are
Yeah.
dynamite.
Yeah. And then got to go to La Carreta.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and now Frankincense too.
Frankincense? Another Mexican joint?
Frankincense. No, it's the place that warehouse where I got you that poster.
Oh, yeah. The nerd store.
Yeah.
Very good. What would you say is like a very unsung hero of Mexican dishes, of Hispanic cuisine that perhaps white people haven't exploited yet for their own?
Nopales.
What's that?
Nopales.
What's nopales?
Cactus.
Really? How was it made? Was it?
I mean, you can grill them up. You can have them in some eggs, but the way I like them is like almost like a pico de gallo, but with.
Is it just like shavings or chopped up? Yeah.
Chopped up.
It's like kind of all right. That could be pretty good.
It's delicious.
What kind of flavor is it? Like a citrusy? Like what kind of flavor does it add?
I mean, it kind of has its own.
Little something.
It's a little bit of slime in there. Honestly.
Not big on slime and consistency. Not big on like say lengua.
You gotta put a decent amount of lime in there.
Yeah.
It neutralizes it. It's solid.
A tip of the cap to your chorizo quesadillas.
Bro.
My
See what I'm
God,
saying?
with the what's the cheese you use? Oaxaca
Oaxaca.
cheese. Oh my God, let's go.
I get that chorizo from Toledo's over where I used to live by in Sacramento. Solid.
Let's
To this day.
I'm gonna just take liberties and pour your alcohol.
To this day, every time I go there, that the cashier, super friendly to me. Anytime I go there with my wife, she looks really upset.
Oh, because she wants a bite. Does she?
Oh, that or papers.
Oh yeah.
No, what I think it is because Victoria looks Hispanic, but she's not.
Victoria's like an omni person. She can be Oriental. She can be white. She can be black. No, I'm joking. But she's like a future person where she fits in.
But because she's Asian, but looks Hispanic, when they talk to her and she doesn't speak English, they seem to get upset. So they probably see me with her, and on top of that, she looks way younger than she is, and I look way older than I am. So they're like, "Look at this pervert."
I know. I was gonna say, you cradle robbing son of a bitch.
I need someone to take care of me in my old age.
Indeed. Oh my goodness, soju, the truth. Another question, another pregunta for you. We do a pod on just Hispanic cuisine in general. My God,
I'm about it.
Dia de los Muertos is coming up. We didn't talk about pan dulce. We didn't talk about churros. We didn't talk about leche. Tres leches.
I hate pumpkin spice stuff, but my wife loves it, and I'm pretty sure Kat loves it too. Cat's our roommate,
Of course.
not just a random cat.
Meow.
I'm gonna probably make some pumpkin spice churros.
Do you make? Oh, and let me know when you have that. When you make that, I want to eat
Probably
it.
on Monday. On Halloween.
Very good. The Mexican leche was
Tres leches?
No, not the cake. Like the white, like the it looks like milk.
Horchata.
Horchata with a little bit of rum in it, or horchata with some tequila in it.
Yeah.
That's delicious. We said churros already. Are we missing anything? Oh, the elote. Oh my god, the sweet
that's
corn.
a hit,
bro, it's so good. I put so you can get them at Kona Ice in elote cup, which is pretty good. A little pricier than what I want to spend. It's not nearly as good. Come on now. But you get the sweet corn, and I got Takis instead of Flamin' Hot Cheetos in it. Takis. And it's just bomb.com.
It's the sauce that I make.
The sauce.
Sends it over the edge.
There's also like the really good ceviche with like the little shrimp in it, a little something, little nice little spices, pizzazz. God bless Mexican food. Number 4. All right, Cartel Boss, greatest Mexican dish of all time. What is your favorite quote from the original Fast and the Furious movie? Year 2001, not a 90s movie.
Nos!
Nos! The guy in the snake skin pants, that's his cousin Lance.
It's probably
You can have any brew you want.
as long as it's a Corona. Because the Buster brought me back.
Why'd you bring the Buster back to the fort? Dom Toretto had a meeting with everybody. You guys, this is not the house. We're calling it the fort from now on. Because the Buster kept me out of handcuffs. The Buster brought me back. Talking about Dom's sister in that movie. My God. No, Joanna Brewster.
Yeah.
I mean, Michelle Rodriguez.
Hands, dude. I've had the biggest crush on Michelle Rodriguez. My
Then
entire
and now.
life.
And now.
Dude.
She's not even bad in SWAT. She's good. She's still looking good these days in
Not even bad
Machete.
in SWAT. She was hot as hell in
She's
SWAT.
spicy. Espacio.
A girl that can shoot and kick ass.
She was good. She was good.
Why you think I have my wife go shooting with me and now she's clacking weights in the gym? She's strong as can be.
You accidentally say Michelle instead of Victoria.
I got in trouble a couple times.
She understands, of course.
She agrees with me.
She knows.
Dom.
Yvonne.
I just watched the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's not bad, right?
I love her character.
It's wacky. She's a badass in it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's wacky and silly because that's what Dungeons and Dragons is.
You know there's an original one?
Yeah, with Jeremy Irons.
I just saw it.
It's ridiculous.
I wanted to gouge my eyes out,
Don't-
and I love horrible movies.
Dude, it is bad.
I love
bad.
horrible
That's why I
movies.
love the horrible 80s horror movies. They're just, it's porn-like acting, but the porn never comes. The acting's just that bad. It just never
It's the only reason I watch them.
Oh, I just think there's going to be a payoff. Other than Espanol. Oh, wait. No. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal?
See?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved tigers. They're pretty sick. But
Uh,
that's just such a generic...
white and black or orange and black?
Orange and black. That's such a generic thing to say, though.
It's okay to have.
I think
a frog guy
my
myself.
favorite one is for sure gorillas.
Silverback?
Yeah.
Those are bad
Just the fact that
motherfuckers.
most people, you mistake me for one. That's
your gamer tag, Goonrilla.
Yeah.
Talk about a fight that nobody would ever win. 1-on-1 with a gorilla, you are going to be turned inside out.
Even if I had a gun, I'd be like, in order to defend myself against any animal, I'm shooting. But against a gorilla, I'd be like, damn, am I really
Might
going
as
to
well-
shoot him down?
No, you just shoot yourself when faced with a gorilla. Use your gun to shoot yourself before it kills you.
I
Such
literally
terrible
got a
ways.
gorilla tail on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't tell your mother.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll do this whole entire podcast again in Spanish. Your mom can listen. Oh gosh darn it, Kristen. There's a work call that I'm going to deny because I'm doing a podcast. Number 8. What other language would you want to speak? You are bilingual, English and Spanish.
It'd be in between Russian, Japanese, and maybe like Arabic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why Russian or Arabic? Japanese is a given.
They're very
dope
lucrative nowadays.
Oh, this is surely. Yes, they are. Not bad. And they're like kind of
And
cool.
Japanese, so I can watch animes the way they were intended to be watched.
And I just all due respect to the Japanese voice actors. I feel like American, like the dubbed versions of animes, the American voice actors is probably obviously biased. Is biased because I speak the language. I understand it, and maybe it would mean more if I could understand Japanese in such a way. But the American, like the voice acting, is so good. It's so good. I love the voices.
I mean, that's
They're
just because
so
they do a
iconic.
good job. They picked good actors,
Yeah.
voice actors. But I think if you knew both languages, you'd say hands down Japanese would be the way to go.
I would say so because there's the iconic. I mean, they all even say Americans. They say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorite animes of all time. Grandpa JoJo, just oh no! And there's the famous quote from Dio, and probably the most famous of seasons in all of anime, the Star-Crossed Crusaders, when Dio stops time. Oh Mada! Like you can do. It's just the way he yells it, and just. I'll try to get that sound clip so people know what the fuck I'm talking about. But you know what I'm talking about. The world. It's fantastic.
I don't watch that show.
It's fantastic. You would like it. You would like it a lot.
Victoria got me watching The Way of the House Husband.
She's trying to train you, huh? Is that what the ex-Yakuza member?
Yeah.
The Way of the Husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, this is what I picture you and Lola Bear do when I'm gone at work.
Do you like it?
It's sick. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like in any
the
anime.
the guy clearly suffers from PTSD.
Yeah.
Horribly, and I love it.
I think in any anime, if you give it the time of day, you're going to find something about it that you like. Or at least a character you identify with.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that one. I've seen it. It's on Netflix.
It's pretty cool.
Hot or cold weather?
Cold.
Cold weather?
Man, I'm too big. I'm too big for hot weather.
I got you.
I've been in enough hot weather in my lifetime.
Here's the question of questions and, Mas Soju. So the Soju help you with the lift? What are you lifting today?
Squats.
Squats?
I'm going
silly,
for
silly question.
a max, hopefully.
What's your max? What you going for today?
Hopefully just 450, which is what I wanted to get to at the end of the year. I hit 405, which is on bench, which is what I wanted.
Just
to get at the end of the
450,
year.
you say? Just 450.
I used to hit 650
Cuantos reposados?
for just one.
Just the one.
I'm old and broken. Mind you, actually,
Old and
on your
broken,
on your last
squatting
podcast,
400.
I mentioned that I did 750 on squat. It's actually 650 on squat. It was 750 on deadlift.
Terrible. Just terrible.
Yeah, but I'm not there anymore. So if I can get at least a portion,
It's
of it,
probably healthier not to be lifting that much.
probably.
But we're not going to listen to probablys. It's power. It's all about power. Strength.
I'm gonna go one way and one way only. All right. Strong.
And,
Actually, here's a question for you: is it wrong to be strong?
you be the judge. Chris Pontius is the strongest. This soju's delicious, sir. All right. This question is just for my delight. What is the greatest food the white man has ever created? Mayonnaise. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
I guess the question is, what food have you created?
Taco Bell is probably the whitest food ever conceived. Inspired mightily. Hamburgers?
They're not American.
Those are like European, yeah? Or the sandwich?
Are you not talking about American? Like
American white? I
USA?
mean, I guess European whiteys, I suppose, which there's a whole lot of cuisine. France, I've been watching The Bear, so there's a lot of food involvement. So I guess, I don't know, all right, let me rephrase the question. What's the whitest food you can think of?
Casserole. I didn't have my.
What kind of casserole? What kind of casserole?
I had my first casserole ever with you.
It's not bad though, right?
No, it was
especially
good.
if my
I
mom was
like,
making it.
Yeah, it was in Tahoe. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my God, that's right. I had to give it to your mom that you wouldn't drown in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Casserole is dope. I am blessed with aunts that can cook and bake their asses off, including grandma. Casserole is fairly quiet. My goodness. Lasagna is nice. I guess Italian. Whatever.
You are.
I don't know.
Cultural appropriating over here.
Oh my God. 'Tis my right. 'Tis my white.
I gotta teach you how to cook, bro.
I can cook a little something. I've been getting better and better.
Who's the best cook you know? This sounds narcissistic.
Debbie Gertz. I know you're good. You're up there. You're
Check
good.
this out. Beside your mother.
Besides my mother.
Hold on.
Between you and Lillian's husband, Nick.
Okay, because
Nick's a motherfucker at
I was
cooking.
gonna say, not to sound narcissistic. I know I'm in the running.
Oh, for sure.
I know I'm in the running.
If I could think of like the four of our age, you, Lil's husband, Nick is amazing. Steph, my cousin / duplex mate over there, she bakes this apple pie cheesecake during the holidays. It is, Christ almighty, it is delicious. It is so good. Skylar, really good with his Traeger. Obscenely good with it. Like, I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him.
I ain't got the money like that. I bought a camp chef.
You're doing an OG. No, your food though, it never disappoints. It's top notch.
Are you okay?
Huh?
Are you okay admitting that?
I'll edit this podcast plenty, but Martinez, the food. We'll talk. We could even have an entirely another. Like every time we do a podcast, I think of we can do a million other podcasts on a million different other subjects.
Break me down. What am I about? Guns, cooking, lifting,
cartoons, lifting. You say cars?
Yeah.
Cars, mustaches, tattoos. And just straight nerdiness. Like we didn't even talk about like straight anime. We could have just done all anime today, but we've like just kind of bounced around a little bit.
You know, the thing is, we need to actually sit down and get the list together, get the people what they want. The people got a taste. This is basically the 2 brain cells I have left talking right now.
They're working.
You're not even here.
I'm not. They're just.
I broke into your house. You're still at work.
I'm just a brain cell. This is all a figment of your imagination. People can't see it on video, so it's all in their mind. There's 2 Ivan Martinez. You have 1 white brain cell, 1 Mexican brain cell.
Yeah, no, you know that's
blondo.
That's actually one of my biggest flexes about tattoos.
What's that?
You can't see any of them.
Well, wait till we can. Just get the straight Yakuza, just straight like nothing down the middle.
The only way you're gonna see them is if I drop my pants, and at that point you're either very lucky or
you're very cursed
or not.
No, this is a situation I just hope to never find myself in. By God. Well, Martinez, thank you for coming onto the show, onto the tap. Always a pleasure. Your second time. Maybe next time we'll get some video in, but for right now, let them hear the voice.
You redact my face.
Redacted. Consider it redacted. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we tie this bad boy up?
I mean, if anybody's going to be in the Sacramento area, just go to Sushi Yo.
Sushi Yo.
Before he shuts down.
I got you.
So good.
Shout out to Jusco right next to G Street Wunderbar. Who knows when it's open?
Bro.
It's always open. It's never open.
I love that place so much. It's not that good, but I love it.
That's why we love it. But, all right, Martinez. Muchas gracias, senor. To everybody listening, te cuidas. Thank you for listening. I love you. Good day.
You lose! Good day, sir!